Next question. I said siniyang ano Q&A, girl. Dai, why sinyang dai? I think I'm doing a very awful job. Hi everyone, it's Krisha from Third World Book Nerd. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we talk about books, reading, and the nerd life in the Philippines. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Today's episode is very special. We recently hit 1K subscribers on our YouTube channel. Yay! And although I'm pretty sure that half of those are my mom's friends, my neighbors, and my relatives, I'm still pretty stoked to do this Q&A with you guys to celebrate this milestone. And you know what? We're gonna raise the stakes. We're gonna do all of this while eating cake. Huh? Celebration cake! So, let's do this, friends. Question number 1. If you could have coffee with anyone dead or alive, who would it be? Well, first off, it has to be tea because I can't drink coffee. I'm a loser. I'd like to have coffee with my maternal grandmother. She died very young, mga about 33 years old when my mom was only 12. So I never really got to know her. So I think it would be very cool to have like a coffee with this person. And it's really funny because at the time that she passed away, we're basically now like very near in age. And that time she had like 9 kids already. So it would be really cool to talk to her. Not as a lola, but like two adults. For the alive category, wala na pong iba. You know naman, I would like to have coffee with our true friend, our imaginary friend, Kim Namjoon. He seems like a very interesting person. Want to talk about his creative process and how he writes his songs and all that. I think it would be really nice because I feel like Namjoon, aside from being a very successful K-pop artist, is also an accomplished writer, poet, philosopher in his own right. So I would really like to have a conversation with him about just whatever things. So yun, that's my answer to that question. Next, tips on how to balance ACADS, reading, and being a workout junkie. Munang term sa mga bata sa studying karon?
Schoolwork.
Okay. That's what kids call schoolwork these days, ACADS. Okay, sorry na good. I'm old, man. I am a huge advocate of time management. I really believe and advocate nga wala jay project nga impossible as long as you allocate the correct time and energy towards that specific thing. So para nako, it's just really about defining what you want to achieve for a certain amount of time and just dedicating time towards that. Also, don't cram your calendars too much with so many activities in one day. My motto in life, just focus on that one big thing. Yun na, para dili na kadaghag kuskus balongos daghang kay iniisip. So yun, bottom line, time management. I don't know if that was helpful, but I hope that it is. Next, unsa nga book ang imo gi-wish na may pa ikaw nag-write? What book do you wish you've written? Is that how it's translated? I have 2 answers for this one. Number 1 is a very common answer. You probably have guessed it if you've been hanging out with me here lately. It's gonna be Kitchen by Tita Banana Yoshimoto. Because again, it's such a very simple but poignant read. Sige kog balik-balik ano niya. I keep repeating this thing, but I would someday like to write something like that as well. Nga it doesn't need to be so complicated. It doesn't need to have a plot nga crazy kaayo. It doesn't need to be set in this crazy fantastical world with so much world building, but it's still very impactful. So I would have liked to, write that book because it's so simple but very introspective. Another one is a very recent read. It's The Miracles of the Namiya General Store by Keigo Higashino. My gulay. It's one of my best reads this year. Similar siyang vibe ni Kitchen in a way nga pagka-mundane lang yun yung mga settings, pero my gulay, there is some magical realism sprinkled into it. And you really don't see the strings attached to each of the stories until like the very end. Nga ka na murag, whoa, I didn't see this coming. How the heck did the author connect all of those dots? It's a very nice book. It's a crazy good book. I recommend it to everyone, and I wish I wrote that too, but I don't think I have the brain cells to form plot lines that intersect plus na by sprinkling of magical realism. So yeah, it's Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto and The Miracles of the Namiya General Store by Keigo Higashino. Next question. I said siniyang ano Q&A, girl. Dai, why sinyang dai? Kaya ngano gauwan dai. Nya ngano pag yun, ga COVID dai. Huwag na mo adto dito para lang mo palit og lumpia nga hang dai. So mag-kick na lang ta, okay? Next, Hogwarts House. I think I'm a Ravenclaw. I don't identify as a brave person, so I can't go to Gryffindor. I'm not very friendly, so I'm not Hufflepuff. So the only choice would be Ravenclaw or Slytherin. I think I'm also at home in Slytherin. I think I'm a Slytherin. But mas ni-gravitate ko towards a Ravenclaw. Ano lang combination? Slitherclaw. That's me. So, what's your AO3 handle? Not happening. If your favorite book right now would be a movie, song sa end credits. Ooh, nice question. Thanks, me, for this very wonderful question. And for the 10 others that you sent so that my Q&A won't be a flop. Thank you so much. A recent favorite is Miracles of the Namiya General Store. And I think a very nice end credit would be something from One OK Rock. Oh, We Are. Oh my. We Are by One OK Rock. Have you heard that song? There's a live version of it. Yeah, nasa like chorus of like maybe 100 kids in this one big studio, and they were singing live. And it's such a nice anthem for like people who are a bit downtrodden but want to go do something with their lives, which is kind of the vibe that I got by the end of the Miracles of the Namiya General Store. Next, some say Third World isn't politically correct. Will you change your channel name to Developing Book Nerd? No, I won't change it to Developing Book Nerd. Let's stay Third World Book Nerd for now. I wanted something mo embody sa experience in a developing country like the Philippines. You know, book prices are high. People can't afford books most of the time. We don't have those fancy bookshelves that you see book creators have. We don't have book signings. Authors rarely come here, etc., etc., etc. So I wanted something nga collective ani niya, and I wanted something to be more wordplay, rhymey situation. So it ended up being Third World Book Nerd. In a way, I kind of wanted to put a new meaning to the term Third World, because people think of it like in a very not so cool way, almost like derogatory nga, kind of, oh my god, they're from the third world country, blah blah blah. But also on the flip side of it, even though we come from a third world country, people here love books. Our readers here are just as passionate as readers from developed countries. So I kind of wanted to put a new twist on the term third world. Dami ko nang sinabi, pero no, we're not changing it. It still stay Third World Book Nerd. Thanks. How well do you know your parents name their favorite books? My parents don't have favorite books. My mom would probably say nga ang iyang favorite books growing up would be Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, because that's what she always tells me. Muna iyang standard nga answer. My abuji though, they lived in a very rural part of Mindanao, and books were few and far in between. So I don't think he had a favorite book growing up. He did have a lot of favorite radio dramas. Kanang sa mga AM nga kanang mga drama sa radio. Muna iyang mga bet. Parang kuko sa agila. Muna iyang pahingnon ako. Mga bet sa akong papa growing up. So, that's the answer. Ka-fishing ani nga question, oy. How many siblings do you have? And they were books. Unsa sila? What the heck? I have 5 siblings. And one of them sent that question. Sibling number 2, Sume, gets to be That Bothered Kate by Sally Knoll. Siya daw ang middle child nga pirmi inaapi. Sibling number 3, Tatin. I'm gonna give her Pride and Prejudice by Tita Jane Austen, because she loves the book, she loves the movie. She listens to Mr. Darcy read the script over and over again. Sibling number 4, ooh, me, I know now what to give you. You Are The Shape of Ideas by Grant Snyder. It's a picture book full of the shape of ideas, like musings nga visually represent sa author and illustrator. So it's very nice if you can check it out. Ang Carling, maybe a Korean book in translation. Somewhere like that. Popong, what kind of book is Popong? He's annoying, so any annoying book. If you have any, what's your current most favorite read this August? This August, I'm so happy because I read 3 books. That's a lot now for me. Because I'm a very slow reader. So my favorite read this August was definitely Good Omens by Tita Neil Gaiman. It's such a fun read. Next, least favorite book. This is a very tricky question because if I don't like the book, I will automatically DNF it. So I guess this one, I'll give it to... Have you heard of Faker by Sarah Smith? Next! When was the last time you did something for the first time? Ooh, this one's a fun question. I did this one yesterday. I left my job. It's a full-time job that I have enjoyed for the longest time, but also it's time to grow out of one's comfort zone and explore other things. So it's the first time I've actually left a job that I like. It's a crazy experience. I'm still processing it, but the general consensus right now is I'm excited for new things ahead of me. So daghan sa daing nga questions, no? Thank you kayo guys, ha? Next question. What bookish advice would you give to your younger self and or the younger generation? Don't be so quick to judge books. Like, when I was younger, I can remember that I had this really huge prejudice against books nga kanang cute-cute, kilig-kilig. Basically, mga YA nga mga stuff during that time. The people that read them, I like really judged them so hard. Like, I was like, why are you wasting your time reading such frivolous things, you youngsters? When I was but a youngster myself. So, grabe ko mo judge sa mga books about love, mga romance, mga yan. Kay murag, parang ako, I really look down my nose on those kinds of stories. So I would like to tell my younger self and or the younger generation nga, dude, stop taking yourself too seriously, you know? Like, read the books you want to read. And like, don't hate other people for like liking these kind of things, you know? Like, let people have fun. To each their own. Kana, don't be too quick to judge mga books just because they belong to a certain genre that doesn't resonate with you right now. Just because they're not marketed as serious books doesn't mean you can't find knowledge or insights from them. And on the flip side, just because books are marketed as serious doesn't mean they really are or that they're really that good anyhow. So, yun. Next question. What are your book recommendations for beginners? I would suggest the following books just because they're very easy to read and they're very enjoyable. Number 1 is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. It's very fun, it's very whimsical. The next one is The Princess Bride. I like that it doesn't take itself too seriously, and like the title suggests, it's all about true love and high adventure. Nga kanang, it's just a nice, silly book to get away from the real world for a bit. So yeah, that's another one. The third one would be the Harry Potter series. I don't support Tita JK's choices in life, but at the same time, I cannot deny that the Harry Potter series had a very huge hand in developing me as a reader and opening up this whole world of literature for me. So if you haven't read the Harry Potter books, I do suggest that you try reading them because they are very good reads. Next question. Book you can give a 10-minute presentation on the spot. Maybe Harry Potter because I know it so well. Filipino books, stories, alamats, at iba pa that made an impact on you growing up. Here's the thing, there aren't a lot of Filipino books out there. A lot of us grew up on oral history, aka mga chika-chika sa atong mga elders. I'll cite one movie though that really made an impact. It's Magic Temple. I think up to this day that it's the best movie that ever was produced by the Philippines ever. To the uninitiated, Magic Temple is a story about how 3 kids with powers come together to save the kingdom of Samadhi. Plot, characters, production, music, everything. It left a huge impact on me as I was growing up, and I wish that we could go back to the time where stories, movies were made because the creators really wanted to make it and send a message, and not just because they want box office money. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Can you read us a paragraph from your fanfics, assuming you wrote some? No, I won't. Books you remember reading from childhood. I read a lot of books when I was a kid. My titas would gift me books, abridged versions of mga Western classics like Black Beauty, Treasure Island, and this abridged version of Little Women. My mom got me that one. It's very short. I read it in one sitting. Princess Diaries, the very first one. I am so proud to say that I read it before the movie came out. Yucks, hipster. Do you read in moving vehicles, and why is it the reason you have glasses? It's just me trying to be productive, okay? And yeah, maybe it's the reason why I am now blind and cannot see 2 feet in front of me because my vision has been shot. But what am I supposed to do during that long ride home? Well, maybe I could have listened to audiobooks. Tagapagsundo makes sundo you unexpectedly. He says, okay, you get to bring 1 book. What book? Can I just bring my journal instead? I feel like I'd like to read of the life that I have had before the tagasundo takes me away. Does that count? Any side hustle po for bookworms? Haha, grabe po kasi ako mag-haul. There are a lot of side hustles that you can actually do. The internet has blessed us with so many opportunities for side hustles. You just really have to know where to look. You assess yourself first. What are you good at, or what can you do very easily and get paid for in return? Another thing would be to think about who you want to work with or what market you want to serve. So it could be online entrepreneurs, basin mga coaches, basin people who have podcasts, or people who have YouTube channels that you want to kinda help. So you might want to think about who you want to work with first. Once you have those 2 things, you can very easily narrow down the side hustle you want to do. It could be writing blogs, maybe content for social media, Facebook, Instagram, maybe Twitter. People need a lot of those things right now, especially since most businesses will need like an online presence for them to get more customers and all that. Or if you don't want to go the service-based route, you can always sell stuff online. Right now, let me just say, it's easier than ever to sell stuff online, what with the payment options that we have, the advertising channels like social media. You can establish a business for very little, and I think you can do that as a side hustle pang increase mong budget for books. My friend Leanne, she has a very nice video about side hustles that students can do online. I'll link it out. So that's it, you guys. That's our Q&A for today. To everyone who sent in the questions, thank you so much for participating. I appreciate it a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to get first dibs on new content, click the bell button. I'd like to end this video with a question to you guys. If there was a book that you wish you wrote, what would it be and why? Comment it down below and let's chica. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. This has been Krisha from Third World Book Nerd, and I'll see you next time. Bye!